Across China, Xiaomi's electric cars are collapsing like dominoes, sudden shutdowns, blacked-out screens, dying batteries, and bizarre system glitches that leave drivers shaking behind the wheel. Social media is drowning in complaint videos, and every day a new owner comes forward with another horror story. Some even confess, "The biggest mistake of my life was buying a Xiaomi car." Brand new vehicles sit abandoned under layers of dust at delivery centers, while repair bills soar high enough to buy a whole second car. Furious customers say they were blinded by Xiaomi's glossy marketing, only to walk straight into a technological trap. The backlash is exploding, and experts warn Xiaomi may be facing the biggest EV crisis in its history. We approached one malfunctioning car, but even standing near it felt dangerous. The door lock froze in a strange, half-open position. The owner kept insisting, "Try starting it, step on the brake," yet nothing responded. The screen was dead. The power was gone. Even the air conditioning refused to wake up. Everyone just stared, stunned, defeated, the owner sighed. He didn't even know how much this disaster would cost. Selling it? Impossible. He had basically turned his 600,000 yuan machine, once hyped for its carbon fiber roof and 1,500 horsepower engine, into a useless metal sculpture parked next to an elevator. No one wanted it even for 300,000. Watching its value evaporate terrified him. Then he opened his back-end dashboard, and jaws dropped. Over 2,600 refund cases trapped in the system, 2,402 of them appeared in a single day. All real buyers, all demanding answers. The forms were so complicated he joked that if there were a one-click reset, the real number would be too scary to look at. That's when everyone realized this mess was far bigger than anyone imagined. And right in the middle of the chaos, Xiaomi announced its limited car purchase campaign. Suspicion exploded. Customers who had waited 6 months without receiving their cars suddenly saw Xiaomi promoting instant delivery. We zoomed into the poster, no fine print, just 3 vague categories: new cars, fast cars, display cars. Even combined, the total wouldn't reach anywhere near the 20,000-plus orders Xiaomi bragged about. Soon after, drone footage exposed massive parking lots filled with dusty Xiaomi vehicles, thousands of them, untouched for months. They looked less like new models and more like abandoned inventory waiting to be cleared. People began whispering, was Xiaomi's sales miracle just an illusion? While Xiaomi struggled to put out fires, Tesla detonated a bombshell: an 821 km battery range. Overnight, the entire 2025 production of Tesla's Shanghai factory, 60,000 units, sold out instantly. Netizens mocked the competition. Tesla is Tesla. The rest are just home appliances pretending to be cars. Compared to that, Xiaomi's refund storm looked catastrophic. Then came a repair bill that sent shockwaves across the internet. A Xiaomi SU7 owner thought he just scraped the underside, but the shop found battery damage. The cost? Nearly 100,000 yuan. All because the SU7 sits only 12-13 centimeters off the ground, turning every bump, curb, and speed bump into a financial nightmare. People remembered Lei Jun's claim of a bulletproof battery bottom. Netizens laughed bitterly. Bulletproof? Against what? Air? Owners warn each other daily. Avoid curbs, avoid slopes, avoid uneven roads, basically avoid driving. Then chaos spread to Xiaomi's home appliance division. TV screens went flat. Refrigerators purchased on Double 11 never shipped. A buyer who snagged a fridge for 11.1 yuan received a message saying it was out of stock due to a system error. Xiaomi offered just 30 yuan in compensation. Outrage exploded. "It's not about the money, it's about respect," the buyer said. "If the promotion is fake, say it. If it's real, honor it. Don't play with people's trust." His video went viral, becoming a symbol of a deeper meltdown inside Xiaomi's ecosystem. And that's the real story taking shape. From EV breakdowns to refund chaos, from overpriced repairs to failed promotions, Xiaomi is facing a chain reaction powerful enough to shake its entire future. What once looked like a bold leap into the EV era now feels like a giant red warning sign for the whole industry. Some say this is Xiaomi's turning point. Others fear the turning point has already passed. Across China, electric vehicles are piling up in warehouses like mountains of abandoned metal, entire lots overflowing because no one wants them anymore. Dealers slash prices again and again, but even massive discounts can't move the stock. Videos show endless rows of brand new cars baking under the sun for months, their batteries dying before they ever touch the road. Models that once sold out in minutes are now collecting dust, forgotten relics of a hype-driven boom. Industry insiders finally admit what everyone feared. Overproduction has spun wildly out of control. The overflowing lots are no longer just a supply chain issue, they are the clearest warning that China's EV miracle is collapsing. Even desperate clearance campaigns fail to revive demand. Buyers fear they're being tricked into absorbing flawed, defective inventory. Live streamers hype once-in-a-lifetime deals, yet comment sections fill with people saying they wouldn't take these cars even if they were free. Some EVs have fallen from 200,000 yuan to below 100,000, but instead of excitement, consumers only see danger. Battery failures, sudden shutdowns, and unexplained breakdowns are fueling mass panic among EV owners. Viral videos show cars bursting into flames while charging, dashboards going black at highway speeds, and vehicles dying without warning in the middle of intersections. Drivers say every trip feels like a gamble. Will the car reach the destination or collapse mid-journey? Charging stations malfunction, software bugs freeze controls, and replacement parts cost as much as used cars. What was marketed as the future of transportation has become a daily nightmare of fear, frustration, and expensive repairs. Confidence is evaporating at the same speed as the battery charge in these failing vehicles. These failures are ripping the industry apart. Dozens of EV startups are bleeding billions, unable to stop the financial hemorrhage. Factories that once buzzed with ambition are shutting down, leaving thousands unemployed. Companies that raised oceans of funding during the EV frenzy are quietly disappearing, wiped out by debt and collapsing sales. Bankruptcies now appear almost weekly. Liquidation auctions sell cars at laughable prices, sometimes cheaper than motorcycles. The dream of dominating the global EV market is cracking wide open, exposing how rushed expansion and careless engineering created a crisis no subsidy can hide. Even with heavy government support, China's EV industry continues to sink under oversupply, weak regulation, and growing safety scandals. The early excitement has collapsed into fear and skepticism as consumers flee, and even major brands struggle to maintain trust. Once hailed as a national triumph, the EV boom is now unraveling. Built on shortcuts, hype, and fragile technology, the industry has delivered exploding batteries, glitchy software, and cars that fall apart within months. With warehouses overflowing and manufacturers going bankrupt, the illusion is impossible to hide. Quantity overtook quality, speed overtook safety, and trust has shattered beyond repair. China's glittering EV revolution is fading fast, and without real quality, the dream cannot survive. Quantity replaced quality, speed replaced safety, and trust, once the foundation of the entire market, has shattered beyond repair. The glittering image of China's EV revolution is fading, leaving behind disappointment, frustration, and a cautionary tale about ambition without craftsmanship. Without real quality, the EV dream cannot survive. Foreign companies and global investors are fleeing the country at record speed, redirecting their capital to safer markets. The era of unstoppable growth is over. The storm of a full-scale economic collapse is moving in fast.
What was once marketed as the crown jewel of China's technological rise has transformed into a national catastrophe. The electric vehicle boom, one of Xi Jinping's proudly promoted 3 pillars of growth, is now imploding at breathtaking speed. All across the country, giant EV corporations are collapsing, showrooms are deserted, unsold cars gather dust, and endless EV graveyards stretch into the horizon, filled with the rusting remains of a dream that promised a green future. Factories that once roared day and night have gone silent. Conveyor belts sit frozen. Tens of thousands of workers wait for salaries that never arrive. Investors rush for the exits, and consumers are stranded with cars no one can fix. What was supposed to symbolize China's innovation miracle has morphed into a monument of financial waste, overcapacity, and broken promises. Millions of EV owners are now trapped in a nightmare they can't escape. Warranties voided, repair networks shut down, and the so-called future of transportation reduced to mountains of corroding metal and beneath the dark skies of a slowing economy. In early 2025, disaster struck again. Thousands of Neta Auto drivers woke up to find their vehicles completely offline. Many thought it was a simple update until a chilling text message appeared. Your vehicle's network has been deactivated. Please purchase data service from your provider. Without connectivity, the cars became almost useless. Maps froze, remote functions failed. Even the air conditioning app stopped responding. The smart car had instantly reverted to nothing more than a heavy metal shell. One furious owner lamented, "My Neta is dead. I can't lock it. Can't unlock it. No navigation, zero signal." They claim the company is restructuring, but nobody knows anything. "I paid 130,000 March yuan. Now it's worthless." Another said, "I thought it was a minor glitch, but after 5 days with no connection, I realized it was a total collapse. They guaranteed lifetime service. Now everything is gone." Soon the truth emerged. Lenovo Connected Vehicle, the company providing Neta's data services, confirmed that Neta had failed to pay network fees for months. After repeated warnings and no payment, Lenovo finally pulled the plug. Overnight, the promise of 3 years of free data vaporized, exposing how deep the cracks had grown in China's once glorified EV empire. By June 2020, Neta Auto officially entered bankruptcy proceedings, signaling the downfall of one of China's most aggressively promoted EV brands. At the first creditors' meeting, 1,631 creditors filed claims totaling 26 billion yuan, yet only a sliver was acknowledged. The company's leftover assets amounted to just 15.45 million yuan, barely enough to cover salaries. More than 5,000 employees were left unpaid, with wage arrears of 460 million yuan. Meanwhile, owners discovered that official service centers had vanished and replacement parts were impossible to find. Neta dealerships across the nation closed their doors. Over 400,000 owners were suddenly left without warranty coverage, repair channels, or insurance support. A Shanghai dealer confessed, "Selling EVs was my biggest mistake. They save fuel but lose everything else. When the company dies, every free promise becomes a bill." I tell customers now, stick with gas cars, they're cheaper and reliable. The proudly advertised lifetime warranty had turned into a lifelong curse. In Zhejiang, one owner was charged 6,000 yuan for a simple battery fix. In Beijing, another driver nearly suffocated in 40-degree AC heat when the digital unlock system malfunctioned. He had to smash his own window to escape. These aren't random incidents. They represent a nationwide collapse of confidence among EV users who now own cars that can't be repaired, serviced, or sometimes even started. China's new energy vehicle industry is enduring its most devastating meltdown in history. Over the past decade, brand after brand, WM Motor, Neta, Hosan, High Five, and many others, have crashed, leaving millions with cars that have no resale value, no technical support, and no future. Automotive analyst Tong Quanye explained, "When an EV brand collapses, everything collapses. The entire service system disappears. Independent workshops don't want to touch electric vehicles. The technology is too complex. Owners have no leverage, so repair costs explode." One Neta owner, Liu Shan, ended up spending 1,000 yuan just for a battery diagnosis and another 4,000 yuan for repairs. "I feel like I'm being slaughtered," he said through clenched teeth. The lifetime warranties and free charging for years vanished in a single night. Digital keys froze, remote controls stopped responding, and every dealership in Hainan shut its doors 2 years ago, leaving more than 2,000 car owners with nowhere to turn. Even insurance has become a minefield. After restructuring, premiums shot up. Big insurers refused renewals. forcing drivers into small, unstable companies that barely honor claims. Li Lin, one frustrated owner, watched his premium jump from 30,700 to 5,100 yuan, and even then, coverage was denied after an accident. This isn't just a corporate collapse, it's the death of a national fantasy.